Okay, so opening up that local script where we made the laser, the only script we made, going back at the top with services, we're going to scroll down and go right above create laser, right? Here, we're going to make a new comment section called update replicated laser, right? So now the first thing we're going to do is make a function. So local function create laser, and we're going to give it an argument called name, which is going to be holding a string. Now inside this function, we're basically just going to go ahead and copy the same parameters, same lines aside create laser, right? So okay, let's copy this, and the function we just made, create laser, let's rename this, my bad, create replicated laser, and then we're going to paste that same copy code, right? And at the very bottom, we're going to do return part. So we kind of want the laser to be exactly the same as the function create laser. So inside our function create replicated laser, same thing. And then when you finish create that same laser, you return that laser. Well, return that part that we made. Now moving forward, we're going to go ahead and make another function which destroys said replicated laser. So local function destroy, well, my bad. Yeah, destroy local laser. And inside its argument is going to be the player. So laser player is going to be player. Let's take away this space. Make sure there's a capital P. So player and then end. So inside this destroy laser function, right? We're gonna do if not laser part, then return end. So if not true, then if we can't find laser part, obviously we're gonna return. If we do find that laser part, destroy it, make it nil. And yeah, now that we destroy the replicated laser for whoever makes that laser, we're now going to update replicate laser. So um whoever's making that laser, we can also replicate it for said client. So for player A to making laser, then player B can see it as well. So we're gonna do local function update replicated laser, and the arguments is going to be laser player, which is player, and then target position, which is going to be vector3. Now inside this function, we're going to go ahead and get the replicated laser. So local replicated laser equals replicated laser colon last player, right? Laser player, my bad. So now before we continue, we're gonna go up and make a new variable at the very top, right under last damage. We're gonna make a variable called local replicated laser equals a table. And inside this table, we're gonna do bracket player, right? And then outside that bracket, we're gonna do colon art. And we're gonna make that equal to another table. So my bad. Replicated, sorry, my bad. Local replicated laser colon table. Inside the table, bracket player colon part. So the player we're looking for is inside part, which is going to be equal to table. So going back down to our replicated laser function, right? So local replicate laser equals replicate laser the table, and then we're making the laser player that player. So now moving forward, we're going to do if not replicated laser then end, right? Well, actually, then return end. Now we're gonna have to get the player's character, right? So local character equals laser player dot character, and then we're gonna get the head. But before that, make sure we do a little check. If not character, then return end. Local head equals character dot colon find first child head, and then if not head, then or of course we're gonna do if not head then base part then return end. So taking out the first then, because it's only mainly for R6 and R15. Now local origin equals head dot position, and then local offset equals target position minus origin, and local distance equals offset dot magnitude. Cool. Now we have that. We're going to do the distance check, safety check if distance is less than a small variable, then yeah, return n. Now local direction equals offset dot unit, and if distance is greater than max distance, then we're going to make sure that we do the same thing basically down there with in the run service. So yeah, it's there. I'm not going to find it exactly, but we're going to type it anyways. So target position equals origin plus direction times max distance, and distance equals max distance. Now moving forward, local middle equals origin plus target position, and divide that by 2, same thing. And lastly, replicated laser dot size equals vector3 dot new. I'm going to do laser thickness for the x and the y, and then last but not least, we're going to make the distance to z, so it's stretched out again. And then same thing for the C frame. So replicated laser dot C frame equals C frame dot look at. We're going to make it the middle for the starting vector point, and then facing target position. And that should be it for the updated replicated laser. Now moving forward, we're going to go ahead and scroll down, because we're actually no, we're gonna need one more variable, which is the remote for the laser. So if you go to replicated storage, I already have one, but let's say you didn't have one. You want to make a remote and then rename your remote laser remote. Same thing, doesn't matter. And then in your local script at the top, I would put it right below. Well, it doesn't matter. Right under services, local laser remote equals replicated storage dot laser remote, or replicated storage wait for child laser remote. All right. So now moving forward, we're gonna close all this. Right under contact action service and above run service, we're gonna make a function for the laser remote. So whenever it's called upon, laser remote dot on client event colon connect function. Well, the first argument is going to be laser player, which is going to be a player. Next is going to be action, which will be a string, and then target position, which would be vector3. We hope. I'm gonna put a question mark for ignoring the error, but we can like remove that. Doesn't necessarily matter. So moving forward, first thing we're gonna do, if laser player equals the player, then return n. So this essentially is saying if this remote gets called upon and me, Zik, were to shoot that laser, right? If that was me called upon this remote, then just stop, because I already see my run service handles updating the laser. So moving forward, we're gonna do if action equals start, then create replicated laser and make that laser player. Right. So this will now create the replicated laser for said player. So like player A made that laser, and yeah. Now else if action equals update, then if not target position, then return n. So if we don't have a target position, the vector3, we can't really make or update that laser. So update replicated laser, laser player, and target position. Great. And lastly, we're gonna do the stop. For when a laser stops. So else if action equals stop, then destroy local laser, and that's gonna be inside laser player. Great. Now moving forward, we're gonna go ahead and go down into the run service, and at the way bottom, we're gonna add just a few lines. So here we're gonna do local current time equals time, and then under this, if current time minus last replicated, is it last replicated time? Pretty sure. No. If current time minus damage interval is greater than or equal to last damage time. Let me check. My fault, y'all. Damage interval. There we go. If greater than, well, no, wait. Last damage and damage interval. All right. So if current time is minus last damage is greater than or equal to damage interval, then last damage equals current time. And then we're going to fire the remote. So laser remote colon fire server update and comma target. So now that we have this happening, right? We're gonna go ahead and go back up and close this run service, right? Before we do anything, we're gonna make sure that whenever the player creates their laser and start firing everything, we're gonna make sure that's also being called upon. So moving forward, we're gonna go to handle input where it says create laser. We're gonna go up to the function where we create the laser. We're gonna go at the very bottom, right, where we say laser part equals part, and then we're gonna do laser remote colon fire server. Okay. Quotation start, and then in the function destroy laser, we're gonna go ahead and do same thing, laser remote fire server quotation stop. Now, if we go ahead and go inside server script, we're going to insert a script inside server script service. And when you insert a script inside here, right, we're going to go ahead and initialize a few things. So first, we're going to get the services. So making a comic services. We're going to get the player. So players equals game get service players. We're going to get replicated storage. So local replicated storage equals game get service replicated storage. And then we're going to get the remote. So local laser remote equals replicated storage wait for child laser remote. Now we're going to make constant variables. So max distance equals 100, damage equals 10, local damage interval equals 0.1, and then the update rate. So local update rate limit equals 0.03. Now we're gonna go ahead and make a few functions, starting with getting the player's root for whoever called this function, well, remote. So local function get character root. We do player, which is colon player. And we're gonna do local character aside the function equals player character, player dot character. If not character, then return n. Local humanoid equals character dot humanoid or character wait for child. Well, we can do this, not wait for child. Character find first child, which is a humanoid. Now, if not humanoid or humanoid.health is less than or equal to 0, then return n. So basically, if we can't find a humanoid, or if the humanoid that character is dead, then just stop. Now we're gonna get the root. Local root equals character find first child humanoid root part, and then if not root and root, well, sorry, not if not, if root and root is a base part, then return root. For some reason, if we went through all of that, then we're just going to return nil, so it doesn't give us any issues or whatnot. So the next function is getting the player's head. So local function get head player colon argument player colon player. So we're making sure we're getting the player. All right, what's passed is the player. So same thing. We're gonna just copy this local character and then local humanoid, all that. If not, humanoid is dead, then continue. So now at the bottom, local head equals character find first child head. If head and head is a base part, then return head. And at the end, if not, then just return nil. So next, we're gonna go ahead and get the target humanoid. So same thing. We're gonna copy this right here and just edit it from there. So copying the get head function, we're gonna update this local function get target humanoid. Inside the argument, it's gonna be an instance instead of a player. Instance equals instance. And we're gonna have to, at the very end, we're gonna do colon humanoid. So it's type checking, making a question mark, hoping it's a humanoid that's being passed through. So we can delete this. This stuff is gonna retype, right? So first, local model equals instance. Instance colon find first ancestor of class, which is going to be, should be a model, right? Next line, if not model, right? Then return n. Now, if there is a model, then we're going to get the humanoid. So local humanoid equals model find first class, find first child of class humanoid. Just have that auto type. And if not humanoid, or humanoid dot health is less than or equal to 0 if they're dead for whatever reason, and return nil n. And once we get the humanoid, all right, we're gonna return said humanoid. Cool. Now for the next function that we're gonna need, going to be a valid target position. So logo function valid target position. Here we're going to do player colon player, hoping it's a player, and comma target position colon vector 3. And inside that, we're going to hope, not hope, at the very end, we're going to do colon boolean, what we're type checking. Now here we're going to get the head. So local head equals get head player, and if not head, then return false. And local distance equals parameters target position minus head dot position dot magnitude. Now, if distance is greater than max distance plus 5, then return false. All right. At the end, we're going to do return true. And then from here, we got a valid target position. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and get the damage target, which is pretty simple. So local function damage target. First, we want to get the player. And then we're going to get the target position. So local head equals get head player. And then obviously we're going to check for the head to valid. So if not head, then return n. Local offset equals target position minus head position. And then local distance equals offset dot magnitude. Now we're going to do a safety check for the distance. If distance is less than or equal to 0.001, and then return. Now local direction equals offset dot unit. And now we're going to do raycast param. So local raycast param equals raycast param dot new raycast param dot filter type equals enum dot raycast filter type that exclude raycast param dot filter descendant instance is going to be player's character. So equal table player dot character. Everything that's in the character we're going to ignore. And last, we're going to ignore the water. So local raycast params dot ignore water equals true. Now moving forward, we're going to make the results. So local result equals workspace colon raycast. First, we're going to get the head dot position. So where is the origin? It's going to be the position, comma, next to the direction. So direction times math dot min distance, the minimum, and then max is a max distance. And lastly, make sure I add a comma. Lastly, you're going to ignore the raycast params that we just made. So insert that. Next, we're going to do if not result, then return n. Now make a new variable, local target humanoid equals get do we name it target humanoid? Sorry. Typo, my fault. Get target humanoid. So get target humanoid result dot instance. Now obviously check it. If not target humanoid, then return n. And last, shooter character. So who's shooting said laser? So local shooter character equals player dot character. Whoa. Then we're gonna do if shooter character and target humanoid dot parent equals shooter character, right? For some reason, if we do decide to hit ourselves, then return. If we somehow, because we don't want to damage ourselves for a laser, that would be a terrible laser ability, right? So next, we're gonna make the time. So local current time equals time, and then local last damage time equals last damage time bracket layer changes or 0. My bad. Or 0. So we got to underline, right? Obviously, we're gonna have to add this variable right here. So let's copy this last damage times. Going way back up, right under our constant variables, we're actually gonna add 3 more, right? So local active laser is gonna be colon squiggly bracket solid bracket layer inside gonna be next boolean, and then outside of that it's going to be in another table. Cool. Now local last damage time colon same thing, squiggly bracket regular bracket table whatever, player outside of that colon, here's going to be a number, and then make that equal a table. And then last but not least, the last variable we're going to need is update time. So last update times colon table bracket player another colon number, make that equal a table. Cool. So now going back down here, we're going to do if current time minus last damage time is greater than damage interval, then return. But if it's not, then we're going to do last damage time colon layer equals current time. Following that, we're going to do target humanoid colon take damage. Do we have that? My bad. We do. Damage is 10. So y'all can obviously change this if you make your one laser one shot for whatever reason, make that 100 or even like a million or whatever number you choose to decide, but 10 is reasonable, right? So now moving forward, we're gonna do update laser, start laser, and what's it called? Damage target and all that for the remote to fire back to the clients. So next we're gonna do local function damage target. We're gonna make an argument player, right? First argument, and the next one, not my bad, not damage target. Start laser, my fault, y'all. Start laser. Argument. First argument is gonna be player. Now we're gonna do if active laser colon player, then if the laser is already active, then just return n. If not, then local root equals get characters root player, and if not root, then return in. Safety check. Active laser player is now going to be true, making that boolean true, and then laser remote fire all clients. This is like what's really making the laser active for everybody. We're firing it back to all the clients to handle it on their side. So fire all clients start, and now we can go ahead and have the next function, which is update laser, right? Local function we're gonna have the argument player and target position. So player, and then target position. Now first we're gonna do if not active laser bracket player, then return in. If we don't have an active laser, then it's just a safety check, right? That's how we're gonna update a laser that's not there. If not valid target position, player, and then target position, then return in, another safety check. Now we're gonna do the time. So local current time equals time, and then local last update time equals last update times bracket player, or 0, or whatever the case may be, right? So if current time minus last update time without the s, right, is greater than update rate limit, right, for firing the remote way too quick, right, then return, because we don't want to like, okay, one sec, bear with me, then return and cool. So moving forward, we're gonna do last update time bracket player, which is now equal current time, and then fire back to all clients. Laser remote colon fire all clients player update, and then last but not least, target position, right? And while that's happening, we're also going to damage said target. So damage target player target position, and cool. Now for destroying or stopping said laser. So local function stop laser player colon player, if not active lasers bracket player, then return in, safety check. We're gonna do active laser bracket player equals nil, making that laser inadequate. Last damage times bracket player, make that nil. And lastly, last update times, same thing, bracket player, make that equal nil. Cool. And lastly, same thing, we're gonna do laser remote fire all clients player comma stop, and that stops the laser from being updated. So we got the update, start laser, and then stop laser, right? Now moving forward, we're gonna make the on server event. So when the player fires, they're shooting the laser, updating the laser, or stopping, the server knows, okay, cool. Let's make sure that's happening. So laser remote dot on server event colon connect function. Give it an argument player. Player will always be the first argument. Colon action as the next one, which will be a string, so what we're passing. Lastly, target position, which should be vector3. So now inside this function, we're going to do action. If the action is start, then start laser player. All right, else if action equals update, then we're going to check the type, right? Like hoping we're going to check if the target position is a vector3. So if type of target position doesn't equal colon vector3, then return. Now under it, we're going to do update laser. We're going to put the player as a first argument and then target position as a second one. And lastly, we're going to do else if action equals stop, then stop laser player. So when you're passing these arguments right inside the on server event and you're checking the action, make sure you don't put no space. It's very strict with checking it, because if you have like a simple space at the end or like at the start, it consider that blank space as a character, you know, so that wouldn't really get passed through. So make sure that's like set in stone in your regular script and local script. And yeah, this type of is just a type checking, making sure that target position, which is expecting a vector3, is making sure it's a vector3. And that squiggly line, if you don't know where it's at your keyboard, it should be at the top left if you hold shift. If not, you can always look up the special character on the internet. But yeah, moving forward, we're now going to do 3 more functions. So when a player is being removed, so players dot removing colon connect function player active lasers player equals nil last damage time colon player equal nil, and then last update times bracket player equals nil. So lastly, we're going to do players dot player added colon connect function player. We're going to check whenever the player character dies or is being removed. All right, player dot character removing colon connect function. So we're going to check if they have an active laser, then just stop the laser. So if active lasers colon player X, then stop laser player. So now that we got the player removing and player character added, but the characters being like removed, so like they respawned or change their own character to a different one, then we check if they have an active laser. If so, then just remove it. And last but not least, we're gonna do a loop, IV and pair loop. So for I comma player and players colon get players do. We're gonna do player dot character removing. Okay. Connect function. So same thing. If we're just looking through all the characters and just having this set in stone in the background, if their character got changed or died, then if they have an active laser, we're going to make sure to remove it. So if active lasers player, then stop laser player. So here we're going to go ahead and remove the other script just to show you that it works. Now if we go ahead and playtest the game and like shoot out this rig, make a few of them. Go ahead and playtest. Oh, we had a little typo. Game get service players. Now if we playtest, right, and we went up to the rig, you'll see we made another typo. This is terrible. Mag 2. It's okay. Sometimes when you script, you make like a few typos, and that's alright. Okay, here we have attempt to index nil with instance. So let's do a little debugging, right? So I think we have my other script. I'm gonna go back and add that back, right? So here we've got the S, so damage times, my bad. Now let's try this again. Oh, my bad. So adding a rig. Should work right here. So as you can see, it damaged the rig and we have it at 10 seconds at a time. Now if we stop it and make server and client add 2 players, all right? On one screen I have the server and the other screen I have both clients. So here we have player 1 and right here we have player 2. And as you can see with player 2, if I were to shoot my laser at this rig, you can see the laser shooting, and it also does damage, so all players can see it. So if you like this video, you can go ahead and like and comment down below. And yeah, it's literally free. It helps me, supports, it goes a long way. I really would appreciate it. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, comment down below that you enjoyed it. And if you like a special kind of request for something else, I don't know, like a fireball or Naruto type of jujutsu's kind of abilities or whatnot. Yeah, just comment down below what you like next. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.